Game Ball, the ultimate ammunition, providing you with this week's episode of the Tweedl Pod.
Hi everybody, welcome back to the Tweedl Podcast. We are in High Wycombe, EJ Churchills. As you can tell by the bangs that never seem to stop here, Rob. Doing well, bud?
No,
Bit busy?
I was just saying we play them on a speaker just to impress people. So
Make it sound like you're busy.
Listen, make sure we sound like we're busy.
Yeah.
But hello everyone, welcome.
Yeah, welcome. We have another fantastic guest today, clay pigeon shooting royalty, Richard Faulds, MBE no less. Welcome,
Afternoon.
Richard.
How are you?
Yeah, good mate, you?
Yeah, very well, thank you.
Thanks for joining us.
No, it's a pleasure. Thanks for asking.
No problem at all.
Shooting
You're obviously
God.
running out of more important people to get on here now, so...
Well, you could say that.
Shooting God.
I know. We've just
Some
been...
would say the best shot to have ever lived.
Yeah. I think
Well.
it's more than argued. We've actually just asked him before we came live. So how many majors have you won, Richard? And he said, oh, shit, I better check that. And he was running out of fingers to count how many he's got to. And he still doesn't really know.
You don't really know. The truth is you don't actually know, do you?
Well, no, I mean, I've been lucky over the years, and mind you, a lot of years now, so...
I think you could say, Ed Solomons could say he was lucky because he's only won it once. And he was lucky.
Well,
Let's be honest, right?
well, I mean,
But-
bless Ed, but...
Bless Ed, but he was lucky. And what did George say to him on the podium when he was enjoying up there because you won't be there again or
It
something
may
like
well
that?
have been knowing George, yeah.
So I think
We're gonna have to get Ed on
I think
now
that's
to-
a true story, but we'll get Ed on to defend.
Yeah, he's going to have to.
But
yeah.
you can't say you were lucky because you've won it quite a few times, haven't you?
Well, let's not say won it. Let's actually start off the
everything.
podcast by you naming how many majors you've won, and then we'll go from where it all started.
I think we're 4 World FITAS, 4 World English,
Could be 5 World English, couldn't it?
might be 5, I can't remember.
I just can't remember. Like you do.
7, I think it's 7 European FITAS.
Yeah,
That might need to be fact-checked as well.
yeah.
7
Because it's could be a few more.
English Opens.
7 English
and
Opens,
5 British Opens.
including this year.
Yes.
You forgot a pretty big one, mate. It's a big round gold thing.
And the one from 2000. Yeah.
An Olympic gold medalist.
An Olympic gold medal.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I'd
silly
forgotten
me.
it. I was just kind of saving it till last.
Becoming the Olympian show, this, isn't it?
I know it is. It's quite cool, isn't
We're
it?
very honoured to have you in our presence.
But he started it all off.
Yeah.
And
One of the first
Ian
British...
Peel got the silver in the same year as you,
So,
didn't he?
yeah, Ian won his silver 2 days before I won my gold.
Yeah.
In Sydney,
In Sydney,
Yeah.
in the Olympic trap. And, you know, all credit to Ian. I sat there and watched him. You know, he was on fire. He was absolutely
I was
on fire.
5 years old, Rob.
Ridiculous.
Baby.
Tough paper round, lads.
5 years old, 5 stone.
Yeah. Christ. Bit more now. Triple it. Right, so where did it all start, Richard?
Come on,
You
Rich.
know, you've made a hell of a name in the shooting world. Where did it all start?
So, started for me when we lived in West Sussex. Mum and Dad had a stud farm. A friend of my dad's was a shooting instructor, very low key, kind of back in those days. And I was 8 or 9 years old. Dad bought me some lessons for my birthday.
Yeah.
Did Dad shoot?
Dad shot,
Yeah.
yeah.
But not. I mean,
He
it
never
wasn't-
shot competitively.
No.
He loved his game shooting.
Yeah.
Never shot competitively.
Right.
Bit of a farm, bit of a shoot on the farm or not?
We had a little farm shoot.
Yeah.
So we chased around a few pheasants at home. So Dad bought me some lessons for my birthday. Off I went with my little 410, a little side-by-side 410, which I've still got.
Have you?
Yeah.
What make was it?
Oh,
AYA. They're all AYAs.
No, it's not. It's a Basque or something.
Is it
It's
really?
something Spanish.
Yeah.
But no, so off we went and had my first lesson. Apparently I hit 19 out of 25 on my first lesson.
Flipping.
And then it went downhill from there. But no, I mean, that was, so that was 40 years ago, nearly.
Wow.
And then we moved to, not long after that, we moved to Hampshire to the farm where Owls Lodge is now.
Yeah.
But long before Owls Lodge was even dreamt of, we were just around the corner from Apsley, from Dave Olive's place.
Yeah. Yeah.
So started going there on a regular basis and having lessons.
Did you just love it?
Just loved it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't care what I was shooting.
No.
As long as I had a gun in my hand.
Yeah.
I was happy. So went there, had lessons with Steve Nutbeam for years and years and years.
Yeah.
And and that was it. He was the one who got me into the competitions and
Right.
stuff.
And did you used to go with him shooting competitions?
Yeah.
And how old were you when you started to sort of break onto the scene and like think, holy cow?
So my first major win was, don't laugh at this, it was C class
Yeah.
at the English Open.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wow.
At Biddy's place at High Lodge
Yeah.
in, it would have been 1990.
So you were how old?
I was 13.
Right.
Flipping out.
Yeah. And I remember now it was sponsored by J&B Whiskey, the shoot,
Yeah.
and each class winner,
Got a load of whiskey.
I think, got a case of whiskey. Apart from me, because I was only 13, they
Case
wouldn't,
of
they wouldn't let
fruit
me
shoot.
have
Would they
it.
not even let
They
you
would
have
not
it?
let me have it.
Is
No.
that right? They wouldn't even let you give it to your dad or anything
No.
like that.
No. So
Cruel sods.
yeah.
Oh,
You should tell Ian Parker that he owes you a crate of whiskey.
Well, I mean that was way before. Ian's
Yes, I know
time.
it was,
Jesus.
but yeah. Tell him it's still in the bank.
Oh yeah, it's still
Yeah.
still valid. Yeah.
Good grief.
So that was.
So you won C class, and then obviously you ended up going to. Did you go straight to B to A, all the way up through the ranks?
I can't remember, but from there, it was sort of the fit-ass team that I was interested in getting into, the GB team for the juniors.
And you did.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I was maybe 14 when I qualified for my first GB badge for the juniors.
Yeah.
And I remember at the time, the two other lads that were in the team were Alistair Evans and Carl Vickers,
Yeah.
who were pretty much on the age limit of going out of the juniors. So there's little old me, 14, and then you've got Carl and Alistair were like giants to me. And
16, 17.
oh no,
No,
they were
no.
like 20,
Yeah,
pushing
right.
on 21.
It goes up to 20.
So
Yeah.
in juniors at 21.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, I was like, looking up to them like
Flipping
that.
out.
Did you beat them?
Occasionally.
Did you beat them then when you shot
I
for
can't
GB?
remember.
You can't remember.
I can't remember. I think my first GB trip away would have been somewhere like Cyprus or France,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah. So that was a massive goal to go and do that.
Yeah, yeah.
And young Charlie, your son is, I mean, obviously you've got more than just Charlie, but let's talk about Charlie's prowess. I mean, absolutely,
He's annoying.
yeah. How old is he now?
He's 17 on Sunday this week.
Fine. So he was probably.
So if you're anywhere near Hampshire on Sunday, do not get out on the roads because he's going to be in a
He's
car
gonna be in a
driving
car.
somewhere. Yeah,
But he's phenomenal, isn't he?
yeah. I mean,
Has he beaten you yet?
Yeah,
Has he?
He is.
Yeah.
I mean, he could be the
I've seen his scores.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's everywhere as well.
yeah. I mean, I thought I was obsessed when I was his age, but this is next
all
level.
he wants to do, isn't he?
Next level
Yeah.
obsession.
Does he let you coach him?
I have done. I mean, he spent obviously time with me. He spent time with Steve Nutbeam.
Yeah.
He spent a bit of time with Josh Brown at Barbury.
Yeah.
But he's just one of these kids that you just keep feeding him with ammo, and you go and work it out himself.
Wow.
Which is nice, really,
Yeah.
because he'll come to me sometimes. Oh, I'm stuck with this type of target or that type of target, but yeah, he's kind of given me a new lease of life
Has he?
to keep going.
Because when you shoot against him, I mean, he's as competitive as you are, but I mean, he's not a dead cert. You're going to beat him now, is it?
No,
I mean, that's the point.
no.
I mean, he's not.
He went to Barbury a couple of weeks ago, shot a 99 at one of their registered shoots.
Did he really?
Wow.
Yeah. Good
So
stuff.
that'll make you want to win more because you don't want to lose to your son, do you?
No, I know.
Have you still got the fire in you? I mean, how old are you now? 40.
Nearly
7?
48.
Near 48.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how have you still got that fire? I mean, the British this year was a phenomenal success, but and it's not that. Why would anybody be surprised that you won it? Nobody was surprised you won it. You could win anything on any day, but have you still got that desire in you to go and win more now?
I have. I've got slightly less desire to travel
Right.
halfway around the world,
Yeah.
but when I do make the effort and when I'm there, I still want to win.
And you still go and train, do you? What's your training look like now?
My
or not?
training's just registered shoots.
Just registered shoots.
Yeah,
And how
there's-
often do you do that?
Summertime, 2-3 times a week.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, it's like there's so many shoots available now,
I know,
weekdays.
it's amazing, isn't it?
It's not like, when I started 30 years ago doing registered shoots a lot, if you could find one on a Sunday, you were doing well.
Yeah. And you
Yeah.
probably have to travel an hour or two.
Yeah. Yeah. Whereas now you can shoot some weeks, you can go Tuesday to Sunday
Yeah.
and do a registered shoot
Yeah.
somewhere.
Yeah.
It just shows how much the sport's grown over the last 10 and 15 years, really.
And when you started sporting, was it you got into? Okay, it might be fit-ass sporting or English sporting. That was what you got into to start with, was it?
Yeah.
And when then, as you started to win things, and there's no point asking you what because you won't remember, but when did you start to think I'm going to go at this Olympic carry on? How old are you? Let's do the maths. So it's 24
So I would
years
have been. I was
22.
19. I was 19 in Atlanta at my first game, so I'd have been at 17, late 16, 17 when I first shot double trap.
Yes.
And that only kind of happened by accident. So in 94, Ian Coley had the UK Fit Ass Championships at what was then Chatcombe,
Yep.
which is now Ian Coley Shooting School.
Yeah.
He had the UK or some Fit Ass Championship there, and double trap was kind of new. I think it had kicked off early 90s. So Ian had got it running as a pool shoot over the 2 days. And at the time, I mean, they messed around with the rules so many times over the years, but at the time, you shot a full round was 25 pairs, so 50 targets. But I think Ian ran it as like a 10-pair pool shoot, so it was quicker to get people through.
Yeah.
And I remember he was paying out every 20 entries or every 30 entries over the course of the 2 days. So it was, everyone had a chance to win something.
Yeah.
And it was pretty much me and Mickey Rouse
One after another.
won every sort of turn on the pool shoot over the 2 days.
And double trap's what Peter Wilson did, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So you succeeded at that pool shoot and thought, I'll do this in the Olympics.
So, well, no, it was all kind of Ian's fault because Ian said, you should come and do some of the selection shoots, see how you get on. And at the time, I was still a junior. So I can't remember what time of year that we shot it at Ian's place, first of all, but later that year, found myself doing the selection shoots. Got on okay. I mean, it's one of those disciplines that once you've learnt the technique, it's very robotic.
Yeah.
It's a bit like Olympic skeet. You're shooting the same targets everywhere you go around the world. Targets are the same.
Yeah.
You're just on a different range, really. So, got myself going quite quick with it, and then, cut a long story short, I went to the World Championships in Finland in '95 to try and win the last available quota place for the Atlanta Games in '96.
Yeah.
And for those of you who don't know, to win a quota place, you've got to be in the British team. You've got to qualify to go to a European or a World Cup event, which there's only, I think, 4 World Cups a year, 1 European and 1 World Championship. And to win a quota place, you had to be the highest finishing person who hadn't already won a quota place. So for double trap, there was only 18 spots available at the Olympics. It's not as if there's, you get more people here on a Thursday than you would do at the Olympics, shooting one of your registered shoots.
Yeah.
So all the qualifying's done pre-Olympics, really. So all the deadwood's gone, and you only end up with the best people there.
Yeah.
And then there was I remember Ian having a mass argument at the time with the powers that be because he wanted to put me in the senior team to try and win this last quota place. But the powers that be didn't want me in the senior team. They wanted me in the junior team. Anyway, Ian eventually won the argument to put me in the senior team, which I'd qualified by right to do. Went to the World Championships. I think I finished 5th overall. And luckily for me, the top 4 people
Had already got a quota.
had already
place.
won their quota spots. So I was first in line
Wow.
for the available place.
So you got it.
And that was the start of my...
And then went to Atlanta.
Went to Atlanta.
Yeah.
Finished 5th.
Yeah.
So I made the top 6 final.
Yeah.
Which was great. Didn't
Yeah.
expect to at all.
And this is 16, 17?
No, I was 19.
19.
Yeah.
Right.
Didn't
Mum
expect
and Dad
to.
must have been so proud of that.
Yeah, definitely.
Amazing
And then after the Atlanta Games in '96, I went back to the same venue to shoot a World Cup in '98 on the Olympic range. Won that, broke the world record at the time, which was 193 out of 200.
Yeah.
So just a shame I was 2 years too late to win the Olympics that was there in '96. But
Yeah.
So that then won me my quota place for Sydney for the 2000 games.
And when you were going into Sydney, were you a hot favourite at that point? Because I don't think you were you? Well, you might have thought you were, but what was the world of British shooting say? What were they thinking at the time?
I knew deep down if everything went my way on the day,
You could win.
I could get a medal. I wouldn't have said was going to win,
Yeah.
but I was feeling confident that if all my ducks were in a row,
A medal was on the
a
table.
medal was possibly
Yeah.
on the cards.
Yeah.
Um,
And talk us through that, because it must have been amazing, wasn't it?
It was great, and so kind of leading up to it, it would have been earlier that year. Would have been so the Olympics was set. The 20th of September was my Olympic day.
Yeah.
I think the end of August was the World English at Southdown.
Yeah.
Won that.
Did you?
Yeah.
So even right up to this point of going to the Olympics, you were still shooting sporting as well. It was.
Yes.
It wasn't if you just focused on double trap and that was all that mattered.
No, because
Good God! I mean, you'd never be advised to do that now, would you?
And the problem is as time went on, the problem I found was the more people wanted me to do less sporting shooting, the less actual competing I was doing, full stop.
Yeah.
So you get a little bit competition rusty. And it's all very well going out and training and shooting thousands of cartridges a week, with no pressure. But, it didn't matter to me. If I was shooting a Village Fate or the Olympics, I still had the same,
Yeah.
sort of end game that I wanted to win.
Yeah.
So I remember I used to shoot a lot with Andy Castle
Yeah.
at West London at his place.
Yeah.
So I went to Andy's on the Friday afternoon before the World English that was at Southdown in 2000. Went to his place. I thought I'd go and shoot 100 skeet just to get myself sort of switched on for the next morning. Went up there, shot 100 straight. I thought that was great.
On
and then,
English skeet.
On English skeet.
Yeah.
And then I
That's
remember
the Friday.
I remember it so well. Andy had a guy called Pete used to work for him, button pressing. This is before, there was
Radios or anything
radios
like
and
that.
acoustics, everything else. And Pete just said to me, "I wonder how far you could go before you'd miss one." I thought, I don't know. And it was a nice evening. It was like there was not a breath of wind. The clays were going exactly where they should do. So I thought, I wonder. So anyway, cut a long story short, I shot 16 rounds, so 400.
Before you missed one.
And then I'd stopped. I didn't miss one, so I stopped.
Oh my word!
You shot a 400.
I shot 400 straight English
skeet,
skeet.
but stopped because you basically got bored and
Not-
ran out of light.
Not because I got bored. I just thought I'd better stop.
Quit while you're ahead.
Quit while I was ahead. And then I went to the World English at Southdown that weekend. Managed to win that.
Unbelievable.
And then I think that was the Saturday, Sunday. Then the Monday, got on the plane to fly to Sydney.
So you're on a bit of a high at this point, then, aren't you? I mean, let's be honest. You've just shot 400 at skeet, and even if it's just at a friend's ground and everything else, it's still pretty amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. So then everybody flew to Brisbane. There was a holding camp for Team GB at Brisbane.
Yeah.
The shooting ground there wasn't overly up to much, so we'd already arranged quite a while previous to this to go down to Melbourne and train with Russell Mark, who was defending champion from Atlanta in '96. Russell's a great guy, absolutely straight as they come. And he said, "Look, come to his club at Melbourne, and
He
we'll
wasn't
train."
competing, though, in the Olympics, in the Sydney Olympics. Was he competing as well?
Yeah,
But he still didn't mind you going down there and...
no.
Brilliant.
So
Is he British?
no, Aussie.
No,
Right.
Yeah. So he said, "Come to his home club at Melbourne."
God, I wouldn't be
And-
invited. A lot of English to train at my facility, would you?
So we went down and shot with him for, I don't know, a week or 10 days maybe.
Wow.
Yeah, which was really, really good.
What an amazing thing to do. What a lovely...
Yeah. And then Brian, Russell's father, wanted to take us out fishing on his boat one afternoon. So Russell said, "I'm not going." He said, "I hate boats. I hate the sea." He said, "If you want to go with Dad, you crack on." He said, "But it's not my cup of tea." So anyway, we arranged to meet Russell's dad, one day. Anyway, got to his house, pouring with rain, and we said to him, is it really worth going out? Yeah, come on, you pommy wimps, it'll be fine. So off we went in his truck. He's got the boat on the back on a trailer. Went down to the harbour. He reversed his truck up to the slipway, and when he put his foot on the brake, the boat went off the trailer, bounced down the concrete slipway into the water. We thought, hey Brian, is your boat going to be all right after that? Yeah, fuck it, it'll be fine. Don't worry about it, mate. Jump in, off we go. Cut a long story short, there's me, Ian Coley, and Peter Terry, my sports psychologist.
Yeah.
About 10 miles offshore from Melbourne.
Oh no!
And there's water in the bottom of the boat, and it's not rainwater, and it's kind of filling up quite quick.
Oh no!
So yeah, we were panicking a bit. So switch on the pumps, try and pump the water out. That didn't work. No life jackets. We're like, let's get out of here quick. And we just about made it back in time.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Wow, what a story.
So we then all joked that
They've done it on purpose.
It was Russell trying to sabotage me.
Yeah, exactly. He actually loved fishing and loved going out on boats.
But just not that time when he was trying to kill me off.
Good God.
Because then jumping forward to the Olympics, it was Russell that I ended up in a sudden death shoot-off with.
Oh, really?
In the Sydney Olympics.
And how many targets did you beat him by?
So we did the 3 qualifying rounds, and I was a couple back from him going into the final. And then you shoot an extra 50 targets on top to add to your score, so you got a running total from 200. And we both ended up on 187 out of the 200. And then there was a guy from Kuwait 1 point behind us on 186. So there's 3 of us within 1 target. So then everyone gets out of the way, and you go straight into a head-to-head sudden death shoot-off, and that went 2 pairs. We both missed one on our first pair, and then Russell went first on his second pair. He missed one, and I hit the pair.
And you mentioned you had a sports psychologist with you on the boat, and just in that moment of doing that shoot-off, what are you thinking mentally? Like, how do you prepare for that?
You can do all the training in the world, but to prepare for that scenario is nearly impossible.
Yeah.
The problem with the Olympics is it only happens once every 4 years, which makes it special. So it's not as if even though you're shooting against the same people you might shoot against 10, 12 times a year at all the other major championships, that one day in every 4 years is a life-changing day to the winner. And no matter how much you train for that, no matter how much you try not to think about it, there's something in your head that still says, this is the Olympics, don't fuck it up, kind of thing.
Yeah, and this is the final.
Yeah.
And then you could win gold.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah.
And you did.
And I did.
How was that feeling?
Oh, it was phenomenal. It's phenomenal. And I still have to pinch myself now sometimes, and, it's 24 years ago.
I know. It's scary.
It is a half a lifetime ago for me.
When you did it.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Were your family with you in Sydney?
No, went on my own.
Lone wolf.
Went on my own. It was funny because obviously home Olympics for Russell, everybody wanted him to win. 99% of the crowd there were Aussies, and there was a little group of British people in one corner of the grandstand that went absolutely wild when I won. And the other 3,500 people all sat there crying because Russell had lost his defending champion.
And how much practicing were you doing at this point on double track? Because when we spoke to Peter Wilson, I mean, and you know where I'm going with this.
I would do in a week what he would do in a day.
Right. Okay. So you were still doing a lot.
I was probably doing 1,000 a week.
But you built your own little. Why have I made this up? Didn't you build your own layout at home on the farm or something like that? And the locals tried to stop it or stop you from shooting on it or something
That's
because
it.
of the
So
noise.
that was how Owls Lodge Shooting School started.
Right.
In 95. Thank you.
The year I was born.
Yeah.
It's just shocking.
I know it is, isn't it?
So yeah, my dad, bless him, that was the whole kind of inauguration of Owls Lodge Shooting School was.
But and is it true that the locals tried to stop you from shooting or shut it down?
Yeah.
And what did
Yeah.
they say once you'd won the gold at the Olympics? They probably didn't care,
They didn't care. No, they didn't give one
did they not?
damn.
But they didn't.
No.
They didn't succeed, and you then got full planning to build a shooting ground.
Yeah. And it is what it is today, which is great.
Amazing.
I mean, it's nothing on the scale that you guys do.
Yeah, but it's a lovely spot.
And it is. And
Yeah.
it's our pride and joy.
Yeah,
And I love
it's
it with a
immaculate.
passion.
It's beautiful, isn't it?
I do. I love it with a passion.
I mean, I've been a few times. It's just fantastic.
Yeah.
I love it. It really is a special place.
Yeah.
You have a wonderful following.
Yeah.
Everybody
Yeah, we
comes.
do. I mean, we're really lucky, you know. We're open 2 days a week.
Yeah.
Tuesdays, Thursdays every week.
Yeah. No
we
wonder he
do
looks so happy and relaxed. 2 days a week.
grey
Shoots-
hair.
Shoots all the other times.
I know. I was going to say you like
Yeah.
your game shooting, don't you, Richard?
I do. Yeah.
You've been up to much recently. Just started this season.
Yeah,
well,
yeah.
We're
Been out.
well into October now. But
Been out a bit.
Did you get to go on the grouse?
I did, luckily. I did.
oh yeah, you were with Ben Hughes, weren't you?
Yes. Yeah, I had a day with Ben.
Scotland.
Yeah. I had a day at May Shield with Ben,
Yeah,
which was great.
I've been there with your team, Rob.
Yeah, I was going to say you were, weren't
Yeah.
you?
Nice
It's a
estate.
lovely spot.
Yeah.
Lovely spot.
Um,
And do you, when you're shooting game, do you love? I know you just love shooting, but what's your thing with game? I know you like your grouse shooting, but do you like that more than anything else, or do you love your high pheasants or partridge? What is it? Something that you really enjoy?
So probably in order of priority would be grouse, pigeons,
Yeah.
and then pheasants, partridge. Yeah.
Yeah. A good day. on
But
the
I love
pitch.
it. I love it all, and it's just.
And the family will work at the ground, don't they, as well?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. So it's all
It's a
team
real
effort.
It's a real team effort.
It is
Isn't
a team effort.
Who sets the targets? You, or does Charlie, or
We all do a bit. You know,
Yeah.
Tanya would do some, Charlie would do some.
because you're just a family full of shooters. I mean, Tanya's won several British championships and things like that. hasn't she?
yeah. No, she's had a
demon with a
she's had
side
a-
by side as well.
yeah. She likes
Right.
the side, but
She's
she
won
didn't
the-
come this year. But
She's won the European, which we host, the European side by side. She's won that more than any other lady on the planet.
Flipping out.
Yeah, she's brilliant at it, isn't she?
yeah,
And she'll shoot it side by side. Not
Bella
quite
and I
as-
will.
well,
I
she'll
hate
shoot
them.
it- yeah, I hate them. Yeah, and I won it, but nevertheless, I don't like them. Bloody hard. But she's won it several. I mean, I don't know how many times, but she must have won it. I'm guessing 5 or 6 times, something like that.
Yeah,
Play.
She is on it with it.
yeah. She loves it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Must be something in the water at Al's Lodge.
yeah, clearly, clearly.
So shooting now, obviously, game. Do you still do a bit of coaching, Richard, or not?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy it?
No,
No.
no.
But
I
it's
enj-
'cause
I
most
enjoyed-
people who have good shots, they all do it, don't they? And you know, we've got lots of them that we know do a lot of it. Do you not do it because you don't enjoy it, or do you not do it because you've got other things going on in your life, so you don't have to do it? A lot of other good shots have done it, haven't they, as a new source of income for them?
Yeah, and I totally get that.
Yeah,
But for me, I left school at 16. I went to work for Dylan at Royal Berkshire, and I did West London and
Yeah.
everywhere else for forever, really. And then once we started our own place, obviously it made sense for people to come to me rather than
yeah,
me chasing around the country.
yeah,
But I just got, I love teaching people who listen and who actually want to learn something.
yeah,
But what frustrates me is that the people that come to you who've shot forever and expect you to cure a lifetime of bad habits in 60 minutes, because it just doesn't
and
happen.
it just doesn't
No.
happen. It's just hard work for.
And it just frustrates me
yeah,
that you'll say to somebody, right, I want you to do this for this particular shot, and they'll do it. Then you reload the gun. 20 seconds later, they've forgotten. So, kind of, COVID was the perfect excuse, really, for me just to bin off 95% of
yeah,
my coaching.
yeah.
I've still got mates who come for lessons, and some nice people that I do look after.
Select lucky few.
A select few,
Mm.
yeah.
That he charges a fortune to.
Yeah. Wonder what that.
Nearly as much as Churchills, actually.
I knew it was coming. What? But you love setting targets, don't you? Rich is a very, very good course setter.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
He's been all over the world setting targets. And
America this year, right?
Yeah, I did the US
US
Open this year.
how was that?
It was really good. I loved it.
Did
I
you?
absolutely love it. Yeah. It's my second US Open I've done. I did one in 2017
Yeah,
for Mike Bashaw at Big Red Oak,
yeah,
which is a lovely club in Georgia, just
Yeah.
outside Atlanta.
yeah.
And then I did the US Open this year for Brett Seibert at Northbrook.
And why do you think they would want you to go out there and do it as a, and Jamie Peckham's gone and done various things and all that. Why do you think they were like us, let's call them Europeans, going over there and doing it? That always surprises me that with all the pool of talent they've got over there and their shooters, because they take it serious, don't they? And why do you think they'd like us instead of them? Or their own?
I just think, you've been to America enough times and shot over there. And when you haven't got a hangover, you probably remember some of the targets you've shot at.
To be honest,
What's he trying to say?
I've always had a hangover, in fairness. I've never shot it without a hangover. I go with Paul Poulter and Paul Batcher, and they lead me astray. That's the problem. And Stevie Whitelock, Paul Gillett. And it always turns into a stag do. I don't know why, but I think it's because we've got no chance of winning.
Yeah.
So Steve Whitelock's the worst, and he's got a chance of winning. He's a phenomenal shot, as is Gillett, as is Batch, as is Poulter saying that. But we'd go out we'd get out there and the first night.
Maybe it's you dragging them down.
Maybe it's me dragging. I think they would say that. In fairness,
I was going to say,
we'd go out, come on, let's just go and have a quick beer, and then one turns into 20, and then that turns into a headache, and then after that we don't shoot well on the first day, so then we may as well go.
Go and do it all over again.
We may as well go and do it all over again, really. But yeah.
But going back to the kind of the targets, you know a lot of what style of targets they would shoot over there. A lot of low, long, slow, hanging
quartering,
stuff, quartering, nothing with much speed.
Yeah.
And for us guys going over there, it's bloody hard work.
It is hard work, yeah.
It's
because
really hard work.
You want to do the English way, and they hate that.
Yeah, so
Well, just shooting their courses are hard as well, aren't they?
Yeah, we tend to throw targets that are more under power. Maybe more kind of straight lines, and stuff up in the air, whereas the US Sporting Clays guys shoot a lot of stuff low to the ground. But then, if you think about it, that's their style of hunting.
Yeah, quail.
Yeah. All of their hunting stuff.
Yeah, there's nothing up there, is there?
There's nothing up in the air other than the stuff they chuck out the towers, which we all know about.
Yeah.
But that's, I think, had a lot of input into the way they design their sporting clay courses.
Yeah.
Whereas over here we throw stuff off of towers. We
telehandlers everywhere.
Yeah, we
they'll
use.
have none.
Yeah.
They'll have no towers. I mean, many a time we've been to Shot the Worlds, and there's every trap's on the floor.
Right.
Every single one.
And you just run out of.
Yeah. There's only so many
imagination.
times you can
Yeah.
do that. You know what I mean? That.
Yeah. So for you as a course setter over there and here, what are you thinking? Are you thinking as the clay shooter? Are you thinking what's going to challenge you? Because then again, what will challenge you will be fucking difficult for me. Yeah. You know what I mean? How
you
do
have
you
to.
approach?
You have to keep it balanced, and bear in mind that everyone is there and they spent a lot of money to be there, and you don't want to go and piss off 95% of people that are there because you've set a shoot for the 5% that might win.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, it's an entertainment business. Everyone goes and spends time, effort, and money
It's the
to
day
be
off
at these
work,
big
isn't
shoots.
it? Yeah.
Yeah, like for the US Open,
And it.
There's 12, 13, 1,400 targets available for people to shoot over the course of the week. If you take into account all the sub-gauge events, all the prelims, super sporting, fit-ass, then you've got a 200 bird main event.
And it's serious money over there as well. It's doubled the price of what you pay here, isn't it?
Yeah,
Roughly.
don't get any ideas. You're bad enough as it is.
That is hilarious. I think we're cheaper than you, aren't we? I think we are, yeah. Did you know that?
What's your pay and play price?
What's our pay
you'll
and play
see that-
price? 37p
Really?
for a member.
Right, non-members. We don't run a membership.
47p.
Right, we're cheaper than you.
What are you for a registered?
45 and 50.
There you are, you see. We are cheaper than he is.
Yes. His jaw dropped as well at
Look.
Well
first.
done.
44, 49.
Oh, well done, you.
I was
Good.
going to go 45
Well
and 50.
done, you.
I was going to go 45, 50, but somebody said you were 45 and 50. So I thought I'll go a pound lower just to annoy him.
Just to really, undercut me.
So
yeah.
every first and third Thursday of the month, you cost me £150 because I'm a pound cheaper and we get roughly 150 people coming to each one.
Good.
That's because of you.
Yeah, good.
You owe me that. I'll send you an invoice.
Yeah.
What do you think it is, Rob, that makes a good course setter? Like Jamie, what Like the British
I think
this year.
balanced is definitely one. And Jamie's one of the very best. Rich has got an amazing reputation for it. I mean,
Everyone was praising Jamie about the British this year.
yeah, it was a good course. It
Yeah.
was a good course, was it? Well, he's going to say it's a good course. He won it. So,
Well,
you know.
right. So I want an answer to this question now.
Yeah. No, I didn't set it.
Who
no,
set
no.
that single target in the final?
Right. Do you
'Cause
think
at the
they would trust me?
Right, because at the time you were running around saying, "Oh, I set that one. I set that one."
I did it at the
And
time. I promise. I swear on my...
I got.
Right, you'll have to
I got
explain this to
halfway-
me. Start from the top.
Okay, so the super final at the British
Yeah,
was
I wasn't there.
not easy at all.
Not easy at all.
Not easy
But
at
you
all.
all whacked them all, apart from one target, which they all missed.
So
Did you mention this in the interview after you won? Or somebody might have
I can't
mentioned
remember.
it. Go on.
anyway, so the 25th target, your odd target, was made up with a 100+ yard crosser off of a cherry picker, which came across a valley over the clubhouse at Swinton. Bearing in mind, we were stood in the car
Basically,
park at the top of the hill.
We're in North Yorkshire. It came from South Yorkshire.
Right.
I think it was more Scotland this one came from.
Well, and
Anyway.
you asked Jamie this. He set it, and I said to him, bring the target in. That is utterly stupid. It was miles. Right. And he
Anyway,
went, yeah, I will. Yeah. In typical Jamie. Yeah, I will. And he didn't. And then no one hit it.
So nobody
Right,
hit this
thank
target.
God.
I mean, how far was it? 120?
120,
I don't know. It was
they're saying
ridiculous.
yards. It was ridiculous.
How
So
much
on,
lead are you
on
giving that?
and Rob was running around at the final saying, I set that one.
I did not.
Yes,
That's
you
not
did.
True.
So I was halfway home, and Dash would text me.
Yes. Yeah, he sent me. All
Sir
the
Ed
reply.
sent me a message saying, brilliant result, well done. Hope you enjoyed yourself. So I replied saying, thank you very much. Just for future reference, don't let Fenwick set any more targets because you'll end up going bankrupt. And I kid you not, within 2 minutes, he was on the phone
He said to me his reply.
denying all knowledge.
I said, I did not set that target. I can assure you that. However, Rich is not doing himself justice because when you won the World English here, we still do. We shot the shoot off. The super final of the World Championships in front of the main house, in front of Ed's house at West Wickham. Absolutely stunning setting, everything else. And we get some big crowds with some stages built and everything else, and loads of people. We invite loads of our top clients, and they all come to watch. And I think it would be, who set that? Mark Marshall must have set that.
Right.
Yeah. And he put that monster great crosser on from the JCB. Do you
Yeah.
remember?
Yeah.
And nobody hit it. And Rich was doing it, and Rich went in and just this thing came off, and it was it wasn't as long as the other one because this one was actually in shot. Right. And do you remember? You were the only one who hit it, wasn't it? And the crowd went wild as you hit this bloody great. Do you remember?
I had an extra shoot off with Nick Hendrick.
You had exactly that.
And we said, let's see if one of us can hit that one off the JCB. I remember that one.
Do you remember when you hit it? And just to prove you could do it. So, yeah. No, I did not. And I told him to bring it in, but he clearly thought you were all quite good. So you leave it.
Fair enough.
So
you won it anyway,
so
mate.
So look, answer your question. What makes it's got to be balanced. It's got to be challenging. But it is a really hard sport. I mean, I feel for anybody who sets targets because I'm not being funny. There is no other sport like our sport in the world.
No.
And this is what everybody forgets, which is, say, I don't know, I like my motor racing. It was like me entering at the weekend to go and race my car, and Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton turn up to race against me. It's like playing tennis, and who are you playing against today? Oh, Roger Federer you're playing against.
Or the racetrack you're racing your car on is an ice rink.
Well,
do you know what I mean?
It doesn't, there's no, whereas actually with shooting, you go and enter the World Championships, the British Championships, you'd be squadded with him. You'd be squadded with George Digweed.
Yeah.
You could be squadded, you go to America, doesn't matter who it is, you could be squadded with world class. So you've suddenly got someone, and of course, you've got to remember with our major championships, you don't qualify to go into them. So you don't qualify.
No, they're a free-for-all.
They're a free-for-all. So the truth is, you could literally have taken up shooting, got your licence, and you go, I'm going to go and shoot the British Championships. You could enter. And so from a course setter's perspective, it's bloody hard because you've got, and as Rich said, there's probably 80%, Rich might disagree, but there's 75%, put it that way, who are just fun shooters who are going to miss no matter what. You could put the dolly of dolly birds on, the easiest thing that Rich could shoot from the hip.
Yeah.
They would still miss.
Yeah. But,
So and then you've got to
but
challenge
contrary to
them,
that,
and then you've also got to set things that these guys. And now there's a lot of them. There's a lot of them that do a load of shooting all the time. I mean, there's hundreds, isn't there, that go all the time and probably shoot 3, 4, 5 times a week.
Yeah. Contrary to that, though, what Rich said before, and I know you're only joking about if you keep setting targets like that, you go bankrupt. But a lot of clay shooters are fairly easily upset, aren't they? Let's be true. And if you were to set a terrible course that's really hard, it'd put them off going back.
But that's the point.
Even though they know that course is not going to be there again.
It's not a terrible course. If you put a hard course on...
I know, that's what I mean. Yeah.
You put a hard course on, and this is the problem with lots of them. They like to shoot their average, or they like to get a big score, and they know that a ground, Rich isn't one, we're not one, but there are other grounds that set easy, because you want to go there, and they're a C class, and they shoot 89 or 91. I'm like,
this is a bit
C
of
classes should be shooting our day. When we were younger, a lot younger, that never happened, did it? It was, you're a C class, you shot 65 to 75, and you were bloody happy about that.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there now who are very protective of their averages, very protective of what grounds they'll shoot at.
Yeah.
And then they'll go to a major championship, and that is where the arse falls out of their world.
They get humbled,
and they'll get absolutely torn apart.
Yeah. I was thinking about this, because do you think the average thing is set up right for that exact reason? Because like you say, they go to certain shoots, but then that person with the average that's getting a 95 at registered at the club is in AAA, but when he comes to a Worlds, they're getting a 60. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but then from a business point of view, from the grounds that are putting on these easier shoots, they're getting 200 people there every weekend.
Yeah. And that's
because people like going to break clays, and it's as simple as that.
And so there's getting that balance. And Rich's absolutely right. People like breaking clays.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if you throw a really easy 100 birder. If you're a B class or a C class, you go shoot 98. You're over the moon because you've shot 98. It's as simple as that. You don't go, I shot 98, but they're a real piece of piss, so it doesn't really matter. You don't say that. You shot 98 and you're over. And you see now, and social media has made it, hasn't it? Everyone now, it's the thing, isn't it, to take a picture of your scorecard.
New PB. I'd like to thank all my sponsors that don't even actually sponsor me. But I've just got their name on my jacket to make me look
exactly
good.
That, and I'm a professional shooter. And CB, I don't know.
But
glass installation.
I suppose you're right,
me,
aren't you?
My dad owns it. Do you know what I mean? And things like that.
Yeah. Because if some clubs want to put on a harder course, that's up to them, essentially. But your man down the road's got an easier course. He's got more customers.
I do sense a bit of rebellion at the moment, though, don't you? There is a little bit of rebellion that people are enjoying a bit of a harder course. It went through a stage maybe 2 years ago when it was just easy, even here, and it was like, they're too hard. And I used to go out. And look, I'm an all right shot. I'm nothing like him. But I used to go around and go, guys, we can't. That's just easy. And they're like, it's easy for you to say that, Rob. There's a lot of these people. 90% of the people will not find this easy. They will find this a hard course. And I do think we forget, because of the popularity of our sport, loads of new people and more people are getting into our sport, aren't they? And
100%.
And they are. And we've got to cater for that.
Yeah.
So we can't promote it, get more people. There's beautiful shooting grounds. We're so lucky down here, of course. And even up north, there's good places. There's more facilities to train at, practice at, shoot at, popping up all over the place. So more people can go shooting.
So when
Brilliant
they go,
for our sport,
they want to be able to shoot.
but when they want to go, then they want to break clays.
Yeah.
And so it's a bit of a double-edged sword, isn't it?
It is. It's just getting the balance.
Yeah.
And that is it.
And I think
we've all been guilty of setting shoots that are probably a bit too hard over the years. But then, that's why there are no regulations within the sporting course setting sort of boundaries. That it is down to the person who's setting the targets. As long as everybody shoots the same course.
And I think that's the key.
Who cares if the winning score's 80 or 100 straight?
It makes absolutely it's the same target it's the same course for everybody.
Yeah.
That's the key thing with it. That you say, I think a good course setter, will put on a course that is consistent throughout the period of the shoot. That's the main thing.
Yeah.
So where Jamie's very good and Rich and others, which is, if you're at a place like Swinton, which could be a windy, you're in North Yorkshire, You know, so you're not going to get as nice a weather most of the time as you might down south. So you've got to set. You can't set floaty, hangy targets because if the wind picks up and you're in North Yorkshire, it's over 4 days for the British Open. Suddenly the wind picks up and it can be 75 yards back, or the wind is go the other direction and it's 22 yards away. So you know, they're the good course setters who can really work with their terrain, work with the area, and make sure that it is consistent for everybody, no matter when they shoot it. I think that's the main
Because
thing.
sure as hell, everyone will moan if
And
it's
they
not.
love to mow, don't they?
Oh, don't they? Yeah.
Have you never really done that? Or have you? So I've never moaned about sports. As far as I'm concerned, whenever I go to shoot, it's the same for everybody. You just get on and shoot it, hard or easy.
Yeah.
And you don't.
That is, you know, everyone has got to be faced with the same
Yeah,
targets. Just get on with it.
yeah.
You know, we've all lost our rag. We've all got the hump. We've all probably given targets away that we shouldn't have done because we've still got the hump from the stand before.
Yeah.
Come the end of the shoot, you look at the results, you think, bloody hell, I'm only a bird off of winning or whatever. And if I'd have just kept my head down
You'd be okay.
and
But that doesn't happen
got
to you,
on with
let's
the
be
job.
honest. You're like the Iceman, aren't you? I mean, whenever you watch... When you watch him shoot, I mean, he looks like... I don't know, a bomb could go off behind him and he just wouldn't move. I mean, it's just...
well, like the proverbial swan, you're all graceful on the surface.
I was just about to
but-
say, is it different inside? I mean,
yeah,
are
yeah.
you...
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, and anyone who says they don't get nervous or don't feel adrenaline, they're lying.
Yeah.
They're
And what-
lying. It's
That was
just how
your
you
nickname,
can.
wasn't it, the Iceman?
It's just how you control it, huh?
Did your coach not nickname you the Iceman? Yeah.
Peter, my sports psychologist.
Yeah.
Well, that's nice to know that actually behind you are going, holy cow, I've got to get this pair. I've got to get this pair. That's it. Even though you just look so cool
I know.
and just don't move it. What method do you shoot for people listening? Because they will want to know. How do you hit? Is there a secret? Why are you so good?
Just whatever the target situation
Do you
suits.
shoot everything?
Yeah, I'll shoot. I'll start in front of most things. You know, slow stuff that needs no lead. If you start in front of it, you're going to have a problem.
Yeah.
So those type of shots, you would just connect with the bird and swing through, or just, you know, very little gun movement. But in general, I'd start in front of most targets.
On the front of the target and pull away? Or like a maintain lead? Or a bit of a hybrid?
Probably pull away, you know, so you're starting in front and then you go from there to...
Yeah.
How
So where
about
you
a
think
driven
is
pheasant right down your throat at 80 yards? What are you doing with that? Because I need some tips.
I'm leaving.
Yesterday I was...
I'm leaving that bird for my neighbour.
Yeah,
80 yards. I'm like, I go for the
What
30
driven
yard
pheasant?
one, but
Yeah.
below it. Yeah.
Yeah.
it's got
Okay,
one
50
foot.
yards then.
yeah. It's difficult to start in front of game
Yeah.
because the line isn't as predictable. So I would shoot game with a bit more of connect with a bird and then push on from the bird rather than sticking a big gap in front.
Yeah.
But you know, again, you'll get in a situation on a busy drive where, you know, everything's chaos and you could be doing all sorts. So it's just...
So I am doing that part. It's just the lines
The problem
off.
is you start from, I've watched it, you start from the bird and then you go backwards.
Yeah,
That's why. I mean, it's never going to work. Sonny. It's not worked for a long time. Okay?
Right. So what do you do then?
I just stick it there and pull the trigger. or the other good idea.
No, yesterday
Make
on
sure
the
you
first
stand
drive.
next to somebody like Rich.
Yeah.
And then pull the trigger
Claim
at a
it.
similar time, and that was me. That was
Yes!
me. Yeah.
No,
but I
yesterday
mean,
morning in Wales was a bad first drive. My head was down, but then we sorted it out, boys. We sorted it out. We all came to
I tell you what's
plan.
interesting. You know the game fair this year? Did you? Wasn't it Basque who
Yes.
had that pheasant on
On a blimp.
a blimp? They put their blimp up,
Right.
and dangled from the blimp at sort of 10 yards below the blimp was a pheasant, right, on a string, all the way holding the blimp.
Yeah.
And the blimp was 100 yards high, wasn't it? Exactly. And so the pheasant was 90 yards high.
90, I'm pretty sure, yeah,
Was it
90.
90? But Basque can write in and tell us whatever. And I think that was it. It was 90. Let me tell you, as you know,
It's a fucking long way.
it's a fucking
Yeah.
long way.
When you were
you go look at where that pheasant
When
was.
you
You
stood
go
looking up at it,
and
you're
you
like,
hear these people go, "Oh, I shoot pheasants at 90 yards." I can tell you, I've shot some high birds, and you have.
I had this exact conversation with somebody.
90 yards is flipping a long way straight up.
Yeah,
It looked like a star.
I had this exact conversation. I was on a day's infield coaching last Friday on some partridges, and we were stood there at 11s, and this sort of conversation popped up, as it always does on every shoot day. I've been watching videos of certain people shooting at certain places, at certain extreme pheasants or whatever else, and we stood around talking. And I said, right, how far is that bush in that hedge down that hedgerow? And there was a dead elder bush or whatever it was, just sticking up. And they were all like, 50, 60 yards. I said, that's further. I said, that's 85 yards. Right, let's pace it out. And luckily, I was 1 yard out. It was like 86 yards. Yeah. Oh, that's not that far. And, people's perception of range
is just remarkable.
Is horrendous.
I find it not too bad when it's straight there. But when you go straight there...
Yeah, it's a whole different ball game.
There's nothing to compare it against. So you can't... There's no justification.
There's no depth.
Anything around you. You see a tree that's fine. But, when it's straight up like that, I guarantee that pheasant, most people would say was out of range.
Yeah.
And there would be nobody...
You wouldn't put your gun up at it.
Not him, not George, none of the great shots that would consistently kill pheasants at 90 yards.
No.
I mean, am I right in saying...
100%.
I don't care who you are. It is literally, ballistically...
And is it even right to be shooting at them at that range?
No.
I mean, that's a whole different argument.
That's why I shoot at 20 yards. There's so much more. I'm really good at that.
At that point, you don't need lead.
Yeah, at that point, just a little bit of gun movement. But it's... no, I agree with you. Okay. Unless, of course, you use game ball.
Absolutely.
Which
So.
he is unbelievably...
Absolutely.
He is like... He's never been as close to a game ball cartridge.
I'm feeling very on edge being that close.
How long have you been with Express?
Forever.
Yeah, I was about to say.
Forever.
I remember shooting.
Over 30 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you've been really loyal to them, haven't you? Like George has with game balls.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, back in the days when, bless him, Kevin Gill was there.
What a star.
Pre-Roger Hurley.
Yeah.
And they've always been fantastic company for for all of us as a family to be with.
Any changes there now with the new ownership and anything? Same old for you, or have you seen any difference?
Sort of within reason, but I think in the right way. They've going to push forward with stuff.
Yeah.
And obviously now BNP and Fiocchi are all under the same ownership.
Yeah.
It's it's good for the group.
Do you ever? You probably can't even admit it on here, but. You literally just shoot with Express. Do you ever think, I'm tempted to have a go with a Fiocchi or a game ball, or you literally just stay Express?
No, I haven't ever been...
Never deviated, never...
No.
You've never had a moment when you've gone, I wonder if I try a different cartridge or anything like that?
No. I mean, occasionally when we've travelled abroad and we can't get our own stuff there, then, I tend to try and shoot... Now, I'll try and shoot something within the group, either Fiocchi or BNP.
Yeah.
If they're available.
Yeah, if they're available, yeah.
White gold's what you need.
Huh?
White gold's what you need.
Can't hear you.
White gold is what you need.
There's too much shooting going on.
I know, there is too much shooting going on.
You're not.
I don't think... Have you put a stand closer to the safari lodge? Because I've never heard it as loud. Hopefully everyone can hear us.
Turn the speaker off. As soon as they go...
Alexa!
Turn down shooting.
Everyone listening to that on the phones now is going to set off their Alexa.
Yeah, sorry.
Hey Siri. That's the best one as well.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Right, come on then. What else? You have a shoot-off. You're in a shoot-off with one other person. Who is the one person in the world that you don't want to shoot off against? Who's your... I'm not going to say you fear them, because that would be wrong, because I know you don't fear anybody. But who is the person... Oh, shit, I wish I didn't have to shoot off against him.
I mean, looking at it on the flip side, if you've made it as far as time with them, then you've obviously got an equal physical ability. Mm-hmm. So, in theory, it just becomes then a mental battle.
Yes.
So, in reality, nobody.
No.
That's why they call him the Iceman. No one is there.
Come on.
I mean, the man on form at the moment is Brandon Powell.
Yeah.
He's just... I mean, at the World English, at M&M this year,
He was phenomenal.
untouchable.
Yeah.
In that super final, I've never in all my life seen anyone perform like he did with a shotgun. It was just
Where was that?
absolutely
Sorry.
at M&M in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
At Anthony Matrice's
Yeah,
ground.
yeah.
But I remember seeing you win the World English in America a few years ago. Seems like a long time ago, but wasn't that long ago. Was that we were at San Antonio, weren't we?
2013, that was.
2013, that
Yeah.
was.
When you say
you-
you've never, sorry, Rob. I thought
And
you
he
were
was.
done.
You were pretty Iceman-like there, weren't you? You were
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely
it's
tore that
it's
apart.
different when you're outside watching someone else or when you're inside doing it. It's it's a very different feel. But Brandon for the last 12 months has been pretty tough to beat at English sporting. I know Fitas isn't 100% his game,
No.
but
And what about then? So that's for sport, and what about for Fitask or something like that? It was not him, but is there anybody else that you would?
Just quickly, though, when you say you've never seen anyone perform like that with a shotgun in your life, what do you mean? Just collected and just...
the easiest way to for you to understand it is watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
Right.
Watch my Charlie's video of it on YouTube, which actually I ended up filming because he said to me, Dad, if you make the super final, get Mum to film it, or if you don't make the final, you film it. So poor old me, shot like a drain. I ended up filming it, but he was just, I mean, it's undescribable.
Right.
Watching him shoot.
Because he shot really quickly, didn't he?
He
literally
shot
just
quicker
he was just
and
like,
quicker and
pull,
quicker.
Bang, pull, put them in,
I mean, if
pull.
you'd have given him, double guns and a loader, it wouldn't have looked a lot different.
Which, for those a lot of people don't know, the American way is not like that.
Right.
They are controlled, a twist. A lot of them seem to have like the same sports psychologist. It's like
Well, it's
twisted
anyone
the-
who's been taught by Wendell takes 4 years to shoot
yeah.
5 pairs
Yeah,
of
and they
targets,
literally
basically.
twist to this and scratch the arse and
Sorry,
turn the
Wendell, but
cartridge,
that's true.
do that and do this and do that, do the other, and then pull.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, there was a shoot a couple of weekends ago that Brandon went to. There was 450 targets available to shoot. There was 4 100 bird events. But no, there was 2 100 bird side events, a 200 bird main, and a 50 bird side event. He shot 449 out of the 450.
Jesus Christ.
He shot 200 straight on the main. He shot 100 straight on both prelims, and he missed one on the fit outs or something.
Yeah, so he's on fire at the
Yeah.
moment, then, isn't he?
That is, that's on form.
But then, like at the US Open that I set at Northbrook in July,
Yeah.
he couldn't shoot his way out of a wet paper bag. So it
It's just got to be on
it's
song.
peaks and troughs. Everyone has
Yeah.
ups and downs.
Who have you enjoyed shooting with over the years? Is there anybody in your mind that sticks out that you enjoy shooting with?
Family
Yeah. Yeah.
in competitions now, especially now Charlie. So like me, Tanya, Charlie, it's great. I love it.
I bet you do.
Yeah,
I bet you do.
yeah.
And is Charlie going to go down the Olympic route, or is he staying on the...
Oh my God, he's pestering
See
me.
how he rolled those eyes?
Thanks for bringing this up.
Go on.
He's desperate to try Olympic skeet.
Olympic skeet.
Yeah.
We did a podcast with Amber, which hasn't gone live yet, but it was amazing talking to her. I mean,
Yeah.
she's such a star.
Yeah. So-
right, and that's what he wants to do.
I mean, he's shot a fair bit of English skeet,
Yeah.
and he's got. The gun that he's shot Olympic skeet with on a few occasions is just his Guarini Sporter,
Yeah.
which weighs about 9.5 pounds. So it's not really the ideal gun to try Olympic skeet with,
No.
but he's got one coming at some point over the next couple of
Is he
months.
sponsored by Caesar Guarini as well?
He is,
Yeah.
yeah. So he's got a skeet gun coming, and then God knows where that's going to end up.
2028, Charlie, Olympics.
He's phenomenal.
God
though.
help
I mean,
us.
he's on it, isn't he?
He's just obsessed, a whole new level.
Does
Really.
he work at the shooting ground?
Work?
Yeah. Shoots.
Lives.
At the shooting ground.
Yeah, shoots the profits is what he does.
Good lad.
So
And when did you move? You're with Caesar Guarini. You've been sponsored by them for a long time now.
2013, yeah. So 11, nearly 12 years with them.
And you were with Beretta before that, weren't you?
I was, yeah.
And why did you move away from Beretta to Caesar Greeny? Because that was a big move at the time, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
You were Beretta's golden boy.
So Beretta's sponsorship package was more based around the Olympics.
Yeah.
And when I pulled the plug on that after London, that's when they decided to not continue, which was fine. You know, I think I'd shot with them for 15, 16 years. So I'd been with them for a good while.
Yeah.
And then Kevin Gill came to me and said, look, if you want to have a go with the Greenies.
He was with Caesar Greeny, wasn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
of
it
course
was
he was,
it was Kevin that founded Anglo Italian with Mike Mansfield.
Mike, yeah.
So went and had a chat with them. They gave me a few guns to go away and try.
And you
And
fell in love, and that was it.
The rest was history. I mean, I had a sort of a stroke of new gun syndrome, if you want to call it that, because I started shooting Guarini in February 2013, and I won the World English at San Antonio in April 2013. So I'd only had my new gun for 2 months.
I bet they were chuffed they made the deal with you, Caesar Greeny, weren't
Yeah, yeah.
And is there anything now that you want to... I mean, you've won everything. And the reason we asked a very notorious shooter in who's the best there is. And, you know, a lot of people say George, and how can you not with what he's won? But many people have said you because the simple fact you've got the golden ticket, which is that big gold medal. And, and George hasn't got that. And that's why they put you as number one instead of George. And everyone can argue that out. It doesn't really matter. You're both phenomenal shots. Yeah. Is there anything now that you want to still go and do? Is there anything? You've won everything. Is there anything at all? I mean, I don't know. Is it the US Open or something? Is there even if it's not a major competition? Is there something that you think, God, I'd like to do that just to say I've done it?
In all honesty, I don't think there is.
No.
I mean, I'm in a really fortunate situation, but you would never ever turn down another world championship.
No.
In sporting FITAS, whatever, compact. But it would be lovely to try and get one more of those at some point before I retire.
And you think you can do it?
I'd like to think so.
Yeah. Plenty of time.
Yeah.
Amazing.
As long as Charlie don't beat him to it.
I think that's going to be
Yeah. Just have to poke him in the eye before the final.
And what's it like being on the board of the CPSA? Let's change tack completely.
Yeah, because while we mentioned this, last week on the pod, we said who we were going to have on.
Yes.
And Ian Parker was one of them people. And we said if they don't come on, we can call them, what was the word?
Useless.
Useless. Ian Parker should have been here an hour ago. So let's just have it on camera, Rob. Ian
Poor
Parker,
Ian.
you're useless. So, yeah, on the board for the CPSA, you can
what I
answer
just said,
Ian's
that's unless
questions.
He's stuck in traffic or something and not been able to get a message
I
to
hope
us.
so.
Yeah, poor Ian. So go on, what's it like?
For me, it's just trying to put a bit of something back.
Yeah.
I mean, we would have 6 or 7 board meetings a year, and we can talk about all sorts of stuff, be it venues for the following year, be it political stuff going on in the background, or anything in between. A lot of it is kind of mundane, but there are some quite interesting bits that go with it.
Yeah. And you enjoy it though?
I do.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've been on the board now for, 5 years, something like that. Only because there's no one else that wants to take my place, so I just keep getting re-elected.
Yeah.
I mean, for them to have, somebody with your knowledge must be invaluable,
Yeah, I mean...
what don't you know about clay shooting? You run a clay shoot.
It's almost good to have someone that's on the front line of it from the competition
shooter's
side.
point of view as well,
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on the whole FITAS super sport thing that's all happening at the minute? What's your thoughts on all of that?
Who knows?
Does it?
Who knows where that's going to go?
Yeah.
And I don't think anyone will know till after the event in February,
right,
in the UAE, whether all the threats will become promises or not. I don't know.
It's all based around George's shoot, isn't it? It's all based around that shoot in Dubai, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
That's where it's all come from.
Yeah. So I don't know. I don't know if like I say, if it will all come to material bans or whether it will just all get brushed under the carpet and it's all, sort of talk, all bark and no bite.
Are you going to the shoot in Dubai?
I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. Only because Charlie wants to go.
Yeah, I was going to say,
Someone's got to take him.
Charlie will want to go. Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah.
You got to take him out there.
Yeah.
Eating more of the profits.
So, no, I'm looking forward to it.
No, it'd be good.
Yeah.
Well done, mate.
You going?
I am not going to go. I tell you what I would like to go to, which I heard yesterday. They've just launched the dates for the World. I don't really understand what it is. It's the one you set in Ireland that's in Canada.
Oh, the ICTSF.
ICTSF
Yeah.
World Championships.
Yeah.
Which I don't really understand what the ICTSF is, but it's go on, you might be able to tell us better.
It's just the so it's basically like the home discipline, sporting, DTL, stuff like that. All the countries around the world that shoot those disciplines.
And they're doing a world sporting competition, aren't they?
Yeah. So we had it here.
You set the targets last time.
I set the targets in 2019 in Ireland.
In Ireland, yeah.
Prior to that, 2017, it was at Kelmarsh.
Yeah.
I won that one. That was the one I was missing.
I won that one.
So it is 5, yeah.
If he wasn't so sort of calm
Thanks
and
for reminding
collected,
me.
he's a right arse.
Cool, isn't he?
Sort of forget it. It's the fact that he just means it. I won it.
Just come up in conversation.
So I'd like to go to Canada next year because it's in Alberta, isn't it?
Yeah.
Will you go and shoot that one?
I don't know. If I can get a lift for Charlie with someone else, probably not.
I might have to take Charlie with me.
Yeah, you can take Charlie.
I can take Charlie with
Yeah,
me. It's
you can
in August.
babysit
That
for a
sounds
week.
awesome.
It's in August.
Yeah.
I just go somewhere different and shoot.
Definitely.
Go to Alberta and to shoot a competition out there. It'd be good
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
I'd love to. Of course, we're just looking forward to the World English here next year, which just seems as if it's going to be massive. We had a meeting with Ian Parker the other day.
He turned up for that one, did
He
he?
turned up for that one. And so, that was a good one, that. And he, it's 8 days. It's just going to be an absolute monster.
Yeah,
A monster.
that will be very... What are the dates for that? Or not set yet?
We can't really say
Hot
it
off
yet,
the
so
press.
just sort of-
But, all credit to you guys. You are the only people that are capable of managing and staging an event of that size.
I think we're very lucky on lots of reasons. Some of it is due to the fantastic team and the big team we've got, but there's some of it as well, which is our location. Sir Edward having a big estate next door, and he's happy for us to go and shoot on it. Lots of things tick the box, don't they? And I think we've got hotels all around us. Heathrow Airport, 25 minutes down, which everyone from around the world. I mean, so many people come from all over the world. So lots of things like that as well as having a brilliant team, and we put a lot of time and effort into it. But we love doing it, but it does get to a stage. But you're right, I don't think even some of our good, friendly competitors say, Rob, we couldn't do it. There's only you guys can do it.
Yeah.
So, and we love doing it.
It's a monster.
Yeah, it is
I
a
remember
monster.
the first one that I came to here. I just couldn't believe the scale of it.
It'll be even
All
bigger.
week.
It'll be even bigger next year. It's going to be 8 days.
Wow.
So it's.
Are you going to get a bit of a stadium going on for the final? Good.
We've got all sorts of big plans.
Needs it.
We've got all sort of big plans.
Sponsored by Tweedl.
Sponsored by Tweedl. What a good idea.
I know.
What a good
Sounds
idea.
expensive, Rich.
We'll go back to Paul
The
Jones
Tweedl
and see
World
if we can
Championship.
See if we can tap.
Yeah, if anyone
Paul
else
up.
wants to sponsor us on the
Paul,
podcast, that'd be
yeah.
amazing.
Well, look, thank you, mate. That's really kind. I appreciate you coming to see us both.
No,
and
it's a
chatting
pleasure. It's
about
been
it.
good
You're
fun.
an absolute star of the sport. And,
Yeah.
You're a real asset.
It was a great chat. Thanks, Richard.
Pleasure.
Thank you, Rich.
Hopefully it's all recorded. I forgot to mention before we started on this episode, Charlie, not Charlie Faulds, Charlie, our juvenile technical man, isn't here today. So I've been going on and off camera
He's in detention.
to sort everything out. Yeah, he's been kept
They do
behind
them at
class.
primary school still.
That was Sam's best subject, detention.
And apologies for the banging. Hopefully you can hear it all okay. But you have done in previous episodes, so it shouldn't be a problem. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. We will see you on the next one. Cheers.
Cheers, guys. Thank you. Thanks,
Thank you.
Rich. Well
Cheers,
done.
Richard.